Hey guys, what's going on? This is Juvido. Welcome back to another episode of Shadowverse, and today we are going to talk about Bloodcraft, which used to be one of my favorite decks until once again Shadowverse came out of nowhere and they said basically, you know what, Drew, we don't like that you're enjoying this meta. Apart from Alice, we're going to nerf basically the one thing that makes this deck so amazing. So yeah, it's fading back into obscurity and making me sad. Enough about that. Let's read the description. Bloodcraft. This class has cards that lower your leader's defense. Once your leader has 10 defense or less, Vengeance will activate, strengthening many other cards. Pay attention to the remaining defense of both leaders in order to take advantage of certain card abilities. Now, very much, well actually, I'm the opposite of Silveroni. He likes being more aggro. I love playing more control. And control with this deck wasn't, at least for me, it wasn't easy at first because this deck is not. Oh yeah, I probably should mention Bloodcraft isn't. It's not a beginner deck. I definitely, if you're starting this game, do not use it because just that kind of practice of like keeping an eye out on your health while trying to kill your enemy. At least for me, it was a bit much. Maybe I'm just dumb. Who knows? Maybe you will. Yeah, maybe you'll just know what you're doing, and I'm just an idiot, which is fine. So yeah, this episode is gonna be long because unfortunately, there are multiple Bloodcraft decks that are in the meta. So, like, there's a lot of different archetypes, unfortunately, that are popular, and I'm trying to go through all of them. So this video is gonna be a bit longer, so I apologize for that. So let's not waste any more time. Ambling Wraith, it's a 1/2, deal 1 damage to both leaders. A lot of people run this. Some of them will run Cursebrand Vampire, but for the most part, Ambling Wraith seems pretty staple. A lot of the low drop cards are, especially because aggro is such a prevalent thing. Bloodwolf, 2/1 Storm, which means it can attack the opposing leader the moment you play it, and Fanfare, you also take 2 damage to yourself. So, it's a good storm creature. You take 2, your opponent takes 2. It helps you get down to Vengeance. Vania, Vampire Princess. Whenever an allied forest bat comes into play, deal 1 damage to the enemy player. When you evolve, you summon a forest bat, and it has the same ability. So yeah, this is good for just pinging damage. If you have like multiple Vanias on the same field, and you play any spell that like summons bats or any ability that summons bats, you're gonna find that your opponent's life is gonna be dwindling rather quickly. Let's see, Urius Levenduke. Whenever an enemy follower comes into play, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader. So yeah, all these cards like this, pinging for damage, early on, that damage definitely racks up. Let's see, Baphomet. Put a random Bloodcraft follower from your deck into your hand. They nerfed this card because for some reason they are always coming for Bloodcraft. They always nerf Bloodcraft so much, and I don't understand why. So, and I'm saying that because he used to have an ability that would fetch a Bloodcraft follower with 5 attack or more. And then if you played it for 5, you would reduce the cost of that creature by 3. And everyone would play that, and oh wait, let me click create cards. Not that I think we missed anything. So early on. No, nothing that anyone uses. I have most of the cards that are like being used in the meta, like a decent amount of them. But anyways, so yeah, this was really broken because then you could do stuff with like Spawn of the Abyss and then get him out very early, and then like the fact that he'll cost less and yada yada yada. It was crazy. But now he just fetches another Bloodcraft follower, which is still nice. I still use him. Fetching cards is always good. Spiderweb, Imp, Ward, Fanfare. Deal 2 damage to your leader if Vengeance is not active for you. This card I don't really see being run that often anymore. But I think it might be coming back with the Bloodcraft deck. I'm not sure because I haven't really seen like the compositions, many compositions of the Bloodcraft aggro archetype. Tove, 2/2 when an allied neutral follower comes into play, this follower gains Rush. This card needed to be nerfed because before it was a 3/3 for 2, which is ridiculous. That, like, once upon a time, Blood Neutral Craft was one of the strongest and most prevalent decks to use in the meta, but no longer now that Tove has been, you know, nerfed, and rightfully so. That was like way too crazy. Blood Pact, deal 2 damage to your leader, draw 2 cards. It's one of your main draw engines, especially if you're doing a control Bloodcraft deck. Razor Claw, deal 2 damage to your enemy and 3 damage. Sorry, deal 2 damage to your leader and 3 damage to an enemy. So you can ping your opponent for 3, you can kill a monster for 3, and then you take yourself down to Vengeance. Let's see. Empiric Fortress. I assume this is making a comeback because, you know, Vania. At the end of your turn, summon a Force Bat if an allied Force Bat is in play. Then, if there are 4 cards in your area when the turn ended, destroy this amulet and deal X damage to the enemy leader. X equals the number of allied Force Bats in play. Great card for them. Great card now that aggro is coming back. It, you know, look out. It's like it's kind of like a sleeper card in my opinion. Not too many people play it, but when they do, I always get hurt. I don't know. I'm trying to make some, I don't know, cool catchphrase with that, but no, I'm too lame for that. Mask of Black Death. I love this amulet. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. When your leader takes damage, reduce the damage to 0 and subtract the same amount from this amulet's countdown instead. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother reading what's in the parentheses. Basically, whatever damage you take from Razor Claw, from Blood Pact, from this, it will be taken away from the amulet. Also, fun fact, a way you can abuse it, if whatever damage you take, like say if you're about to take 6 damage, if this amulet's on the field and you only have 1 left on the countdown, the amulet's going to absorb the remaining 5 damage. That is huge, and you're going to see very soon what I mean. How you can abuse that. This amulet is very abusable, and it's crazy that no one runs it. Except for me. Let's see, don't really use these, don't use these. I mean, I have seen Devil of Vengeance. It's okay, like, you can only attack if Vengeance is active for you. These are for, like, the tryhards who are, like, literally just jack off to aggro. And yes, I'm talking to you, Soroni. Same thing with this card. Comes up every now and then. Not enough to talk about it. This one, Bite, the Vampire Noble. Ward. And when you clash, which means when, you know, I think before damage is dealt to each other, you get to summon a Force Bat. Works with the whole Vania thing. More bats, more power, more money, more problems, etc, etc. One card that, I'm not even sure if this is in the meta, I'd have to look this up. If everyone uses this, Disagreeable Demon. I personally like this card, so does Silveroni. It's one of the things we can actually agree on. Gain ward if an enemy followers in play, gain +2 and deal 2 damage to your leader if no enemy followers are in play. So either if this becomes a 4/3, so and you take 2, so either this gets ward or it, you know, becomes ahead of the curve and you put yourself closer to vengeance. So it's a good card because of its versatility. Gives you what you need when you need it. I don't see too many people running Sadistic Knight. I'm just mentioning it quickly because Silver swears by this card. You deal 2 damage to your leader and then deal 6 damage to an enemy follower. Then summon a Beast Dominator, which I guess will go. It's a big scary monster essentially. If you pay 7, it's a really good card to use to get rid of any early threats like Cinderella, Rahab, so on and so forth. Not even though I wouldn't consider those threats, just like, you know, the stronger, just like stronger low costing cards. Those are good for, but I don't know, I feel like endgame it can really hurt you just because you have to take 2 damage. And like sometimes I want like I want to do 2 damage to someone. I don't want to waste a Sadistic Knight on it. That's personally why I don't like this card as much. Lethal Blade, I'm also gonna mention very briefly. Choose an enemy follower. Whenever the follower attacks, it will deal 3 damage to itself. If Vengeance is active, give this effect to all enemy followers instead. I really love using this card. It's great when you're fighting an opponent with lots of like tiny little cards, like, you know, like for example, this works great against Forestcraft, like endgame where there's like, oh, fairies, 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 like in a last ditch effort. You can just play this game. You can play this card. Of course, you're gonna play this game, but you can play this card and you just shut down his entire everything essentially. Blood Moon, countdown 4. Activate Vengeance even if your leader's defense is more than 10. This effect lasts until this amulet leaves the area. You can have Vengeance whenever you want. It's a good card. I don't run it, but when other people, like, doesn't mean you shouldn't. That's because, you know, all these abilities happen when Vengeance is active or not. Speaking of which, Dark General. Gain Storm if Vengeance is active for you. So you play Blood Moon one turn, Dark General the other, and you can smack him for 6 if you evolve it. So like I said, good card. Blood Moon's a good card. This is a good card. It's a good finisher. Good late game card if you're holding on. There are times where I've held on to 2 Dark Generals, gone down to Vengeance, and killed them with like doing 10 damage to them. So yeah, it's a good card. Dark General's a good card. It just sucks when it's not Vengeance, because then it's just like a 4/3 that's just standing there waiting to die. Let's see. Righteous Devil. It's used in more control decks, I believe. Bane and Drain. That sounds... Every time I say that out loud, it just sounds so gross. That sounds like one gay porno I don't want to be a part of. Soul Dealer, 6/4 with ward. Fanfare, deal X damage to your own leader. X equals half of your leader's defense rounded down. This card used to be very popular in the meta. It's like, I kind of understand why, but at the same time I don't understand why. Because it's like, you're... Like, it's a strong card. It's a 6/4 on turn 4, but it's like, you take so much, like, maybe an aggro deck. Yeah, I can see this being run in an aggro deck, because then you can just use Dark General or any other the 5 drops and higher that, you know, rely on Vengeance being activated. Or you can use what everyone else uses, I believe, and just play Belphegor, which is, in my opinion, the way better card. Fanfare, draw 2 cards, deal damage to your leader until their defense drops to 10 if Vengeance is not active for you. Yeah, remember this? Yeah, that also works. So say if you don't want to drop to Vengeance, which will happen, you will play matches where you don't want to drop down to 10 life right away on turn 4. This will soak up all the damage. So this combined with this, you would just have a 4/4 creature perfectly on the curve, and you just drew 2 cards, and you paid almost nothing for it. I don't know, I don't think anyone but me has used this combo, and I think it's really, 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 really good. And then if not, you can always just save this for later. This late game is also very good, especially when you drop below Vengeance and you don't want to go any lower. I'm sorry, I really just love this amulet so much. Like Horde, yeah, I might as well talk about this because it's prevalent in the meta as of right now. Summon 2 Force Bats, deal X damage to an enemy follower. X equals the amount of Force Bats you have in play. Pairs very well with Vanilla because your opponent will also take damage. Let's see. Who else do we have? Yeah, a lot of low drops are really good in this game. Oh, this is a Beast Dominator that you will summon from playing Sadistic Knight. I don't think it's a good card. IMO. Like, it's okay, it's a little bit above the curve, but like that's all it has going for you, and it actually hurts you if you're not in Vengeance. So, no thank you. Bloody Mary. During your turn, deal any damage dealt to your leader to the enemy leader instead. This works with Belphegor. This works with Disagreeable Demon. This works with Razor Claw, with Blood Pact. It's literally the same concept of Mask of the Black Death, except you get to deal the damage to your opponent. I have literally played Bloody Mary and then finished him off by playing 2 Razor Claws. That's 10 damage. I would only run of her unless you're really dedicated to killing someone like that, only because like her combined with other damage cards or cards that you hurt yourself with, like that's the only way you can use her. So I'd keep her into your hands until you could play all of that at once and really like abuse it. Cause like I said, that's how I win games with Bloody Mary and like damaging spells or like spells that damage myself. You know what I mean. Let's see, we have Dark Air Jammer. Put a random follower that costs 2 play points or less from your deck into play. Repeat once if Vengeance is active for you. So yeah, Vengeance is active. So yeah, Belphegor is great because you can go to Belphegor, straight into Dark Air Jammer, next turn, play 2 more, instant field advantage, evolve this, kill whatever threat you have, and then just, if you summon a wolf, it has Storm, you can attack with it, so on and so forth. It's just very good offense. Scarlet Saber. Bane, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower, then restore 2 damage to your leader. It's still a good card. Once again, this is another card that was nerfed. You deal 2 damage. Before it used to be 2 damage to an enemy, so you could deal it to your opponent and then get 2 life back. So it's good for pinging your opponent for damage. But now you can only hit an enemy follower with it. At the very least, it still has Bane, and you still get life back. So you know, I'm not gonna complain. Big Knuckle Bodyguard. This card hurts my soul. This card hurts my soul. This card used to be amazing. Fanfare, destroy an enemy follower with 3 defense or less. Deal 2 damage if your leader if Vengeance is not active for you. Before, this was a 4-drop, 3/4, which was perfect in my deck, but now it's a 5-drop. It just costs too much. It literally just costs so much to be ran effectively. It was such, oh my god, this card is so amazing. It just did so many things, and it cost just the right amount. But now, because it costs so much, it just ruined my whole curve for my deck, and it made it like unusable. This card, you were so beautiful, and now look what they did to you. Look what Shadowverse did to you. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sad. I'm gonna move on. Diabolic Drain. Deal 4 damage to an enemy follower, then restore 2 to your leader. If Vengeance is active for you, this card costs 4 less. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Use Buffalo Gore, bring yourself down to 10, and then you can play this card for 1. You can do excuse me. You can deal 4 damage for 1. That is insane. It is a really, really good card. I don't know. I really love it. I'm pretty sure it's a staple. Let me put it up. Let me drag it up here. It's pretty much a staple in control decks. Implancer. I'm not sure if this is being used in aggro anymore. Only because there's like a slightly better option. Kind of slightly better. It's a 3/6 with Storm. Usually the whole concept is you evolve it, becomes a 5/8, and you kill, and you win. Like, it's pretty much a closer in a aggro deck. Carabo's Wicked Fairy. I love this card. For the remainder of this match, you will not gain a play point at the start of your turn. For the remainder of this match, draw a card and deal 1 damage to the enemy leader at the end of your turn. In parentheses, these effects will continue even if this follower leaves the area. For the rest of the game, you can ping your opponent for 1 and draw a card. That is stupid garbage, awesome, amazing. I love this card. I love this card, and it's right on the curve. So you can just evolve it, becomes an 8. Ugh. It's a good card. It's a good card. I know it's a little confusing because me and Silver and Eve first had to read it like a couple of times, but if you see me play it, which I hope you will, I hope when in my upcoming videos you'll see me play this card, you'll understand how it works. It's just one of those things, it's better to see it rather than me explain it. Phantom Phantom Cat. Fanfare, draw 2 cards, deal 2 damage to the enemy follower for each neutral card drawn. That's pretty dope if you're running a neutral craft deck, but no one's running it as much. It's definitely fell back to the wayside, so that's unfortunate. Let's see. Blood Hungry Matriarch. I just want to shout out to this card because this card is the worst. Deal 2 damage to all enemy followers. When an enemy follower is destroyed, deal 1 damage to the enemy follower. Yeah, this card is just. I hope to never see this card again. I never want to see it in the meta ever. Emeralda, Demonic Officer. I just pulled this earlier today, like the animated one. It's so cool. Basically, you get to pop a card or amulet, pop a follower or amulet, and then you gain Storm if Vengeance is active for you. So this is a slightly better version of Implancer because you can pop a card, and then if you have Vengeance, you can storm it up and go in for the kill. So this is a really good card. Silver Oni just swears up and down by it, like, ugh, he's kind of disgusting. But yeah, this is a really good card. He, like, literally, I feel like if he was doing this video, he would just be emphasizing all the cards that are like, oh, this card is aggro, so it just kills everything and you just win. Oh, it's such a great card. I'm sorry, I just talked so much shit about him. It's fun. Spawn of the Abyss. Thank God they nerfed this card. This card is so broken. Ambush. First of all, Bloodcraft should never get Ambush. I'm just saying that right now. Like, no more Ambush cards for this class. It doesn't need Ambush. It's already pretty terrifying. Whenever this follower attacks, deal 5 damage to the enemy leader if Ambush is active for this follower. Last words. Deal 5 damage to the enemy leader if Ambush is active for this follower. So either way, you are taking 5 damage. Whether he attacks you or it's destroyed by a nuke. Now before the nerf came, the damage that you would take when it gets destroyed or attacks you would be equal to its attack. So once it evolved, it would deal 6 damage to you. Sorry, no, if it evolved, it would deal 8 damage to you. Needless to say, this card was so just stupid. It was just so stupid. I don't know. Which is why, if you have a copy, just always run it. There's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason not to run it. It's just a really good card. Revelation, this card I swear by. This is my this is my Emeralda, because like I said, I'm very controlly, which means I'm very defensive by nature. At least when I play card games. So the ability says deal 8 damage to all followers. If Vengeance is active for you, this card costs 4 less. So you get to basically get a slightly better nuke than what Havencraft has that only costs 4. That is insane. So you get to clear the board and then you still have enough play points late game to do whatever you want. Great card, great card, great card. I love it. If you're running it, you should, in my opinion, you should always run 2. 3 might be too much, but 2 is always a good number, especially if you're doing control. Despite what the crazy people, aka Silveroni, says. Yeah, a nice combo. I would evolve this, keep it for a turn, and with the assumption that I don't die, my next turn I would play Revelation, kill everything else on the field, but because he's evolved and has a defense of 9, he'll live and he'll do 16 damage to my opponent, and then I win. Like, that, I don't know, that was just, trust me, I got that combo off a lot and there's no better feeling. I got this off in like the OTK decks that used to be run around, and with my control deck I would do the same shit. So I really like this Revelation card. It's very cute card. Is that it? I don't see Temptress Vampire that much, and this is Neutralcraft, right? Right. And yeah, I think that's it for Bloodcraft. Like I said, this card is not for beginners. This is definitely a card style you should play as you know. It takes some practice, essentially, what I'm trying to say, to get good with Bloodcraft, or to get comfortable with it. Unless you're that idiot who's just like, oh my god, I just want aggro and kill things and yada yada yada, then you know, by all means, join the aggro tryhards like Silveroni and just kill as much as you want. I think we'll end things today, or we will end this video. If you like me just hating on all the aggro jerk-offs, then by all means like, comment, and or subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you for the next video. Until then, bye!